This is the John Robinson exhibit. Here is where all started. A group of people from the city of Gulfport wanted to honor John Robinson, who was an obscure personality. He was an African American from Gulfport, Mississippi, who wanted to be a pilot when segregation existed and when pilots couldn't be black. John Robinson, the brown condor of Ethiopia, against all odds, says, I will become a pilot. And it has nothing to do with the color of my skin. I have the skills and I will accomplish it. He said, no, I'm going to be a pilot. I have the dream in my heart. So he went to Tuskegee, Alabama, and went to a school of auto mechanic, way in the 1920s. Okay. Then he went to Chicago and applied for a job at the Curtis Wright School of Aviation, where they told him, sorry, you cannot be a pilot because you're black.
The Curtis Wright Aeronautical University was a flight school in Chicago, Illinois, founded by aircraft manufacturer Curtis Wright. Open from 1929 until 1953, the university was the first accredited flight school in the Midwest. While it opened as an all-white school, after John Robinson and another student threatened to sue the school for denying them entrance in 1930, the superintendent agreed to conduct segregated classes for black students, if the two could prove that enough black students would enroll. That turned out not to be a problem. Meanwhile,
so what he did is he got a job there as a janitor. And at night, he would go in the classrooms and copy the chalkboards. And he would eavesdrop when he was brooming the school. He would eavesdrop on all the classrooms. And eventually he made friends with the teachers. One of the teachers told him, you can buy a kit. Build the kit, and if he flies, we'll let you in. So John Robinson bought a kit, built it himself, and they flew it. And that's how he was able to get his pilot's license.
Robinson's first recorded flight was in a Waco 9, a three-seat open cockpit biplane. The planes cost about $2,500, which was 2 years' wages for the average tradesman of the time.
Furthermore, John Robinson created the Challenger Air Club. The Challenger Air Club was an air club to help African Americans become pilots. That was in the city of Robbins, Illinois. In 1934, Haile Selassie from Ethiopia called upon the American to help him because Mussolini was coming to invade Ethiopia. Guess who enlisted? John Robinson, of course. He went to Ethiopia and became the commander of the Ethiopian Air Force from 1935 to 1936. Eventually, Mussolini, who had 5 times more airplanes and 5 times more troops, was able to invade Ethiopia. First time ever that Ethiopia had been invaded. And John Robinson came back to America and started another school of aviation. And then in 1936, he went to Tuskegee Airmen and landed at Tuskegee Airmen, which is that picture over there. And he's shaking hands with the provost of Tuskegee and telling them, you guys need to start a school of aviation here in Tuskegee. And so that's how John Robinson came to be known as the father of the Tuskegee Airmen. And as you know, the rest of the story, the Tuskegee Airmen became one of the highest standards of aviation in World War II.
Under pressure from the black press, the NAACP, and even his own wife, President Roosevelt relented in 1939 and ordered the civilian pilot training program to be open to black students who wished to become civilian pilots.
John C. Robinson was an amazing man, determined to succeed in a world where people with dark skin had to fight for their rights. See this and several other very fascinating exhibits at Gulfport's Aviation Museum. This is Doctor's Dreams. If you like my videos, please subscribe.